Oh look, Blackthornprod is hosting a game jam. Free content for my channel. Just what I needed. Hello there, sorry for that stupid intro. I couldn't come up with a better one, but now you know what the video is about. It's about my game for the Blackthornprod game jam. Let's get into it. It's the biggest game jam I ever participated in, but that doesn't really affect me. It's mostly an opportunity for more people to play my game, which I really appreciate that people play my games. Again, enough with the intro, let's just get into it. I found the jam about 4 or so days before it started, and I immediately joined and waited until the theme got announced. No, I did not sit there in front of my PC for 4 days straight waiting. I'm not that stupid. And the theme was less is more. I had a lot of trouble with this theme. It also was a really weird time for me when it got announced, because it was like 10 in the morning for me, and I literally just started my computer. I didn't realize yet that the theme had just been announced, but it was. When I saw the theme, I tried to come up with an idea, and I just couldn't. After about a few hours of on and off thinking, I came up with the idea of the game where you clean rooms. I'll explain more. So in those rooms are objects you need to clean, and when there are less objects left in the room when you leave it, you get more points. And of course the game would get harder if you try to get more objects. I also came up with the idea of adding a gravity gun-like thing to clean up the rooms. Like the gravity gun from Half-Life, but different. So I started making the controls and the quote-unquote gravity gun. The controls were really easy, as always, but the, I'm gonna call it vacuum from now on, was really hard. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I like math problems from time to time, but some things I'm just not good at or just don't understand yet. Like, this was a problem. I had to determine a point in a circle using sine and cosine functions, and which I never really understood. But luckily my brother is really good at math. I'm not gonna say math genius because that's not true. And he wrote the equation for me. Then I had to find a way to move the physics objects to the point I just talked about, which also was annoying to do. Yay! I tried to look up tutorials about it, and eventually I found a way to let GameMaker calculate it for me, because I'm lazy. The way I'm doing it right now probably causes a problem, so if I decide to continue working on the game, I know where to start with fixing bugs. Yeah, the system had some bugs, but it was good enough for now, so I started making art because I just love doing that. So before I started making the art, I looked for a color palette, which is actually the first time for me that I'm using a color palette. But I'm really happy I did. I think the art turned out amazing. It's one of my favorite pixel art things I've ever made. And while I did the art, I also added a simple lighting system that just cuts out a circle from a dark rectangle. Nothing interesting. But that just made my game look so good. At this point, about 2 days had passed, and the jam was 7 days total, and I already had all my game mechanics done. So, time to add some levels. But first I added an activatable platform with buttons, and then I started making the levels. The first few levels are some really simple introductions to let the player understand the basics of my game, like how to jump and how to grab and shoot objects. I realized a bit too late that I didn't say that the player can double jump, which might be a problem, but I added that on the itch page. So if you read that, you will see that you can double jump. I hope it won't be too big of a problem, but in level 6 I introduced a button that only the player can activate. I teach this to the player by putting them in a small part of the room that they only can get out of if they stand on that button. This button also blends in a bit with the backgrounds sometimes, so I added light to them, around them, so they stand out a bit more. Nothing else that was really interesting except for that I added a conveyor belt for the last 2 levels. to make them a bit different. I made in total 12 levels for the main game. I was planning to do 15 levels, but that was a bit too much, but I still had time to add more levels, so I made challenge levels, and that were 3 levels, so in total 15 levels. The challenge levels are pretty hard, by the way. Yeah, they are hard. That's all. So when I got the levels done, I started on making the music. I won't talk about that for too long, because I could talk about that for like 4 minutes straight, so I won't. But I will give you the interesting things. So I started making the first track, thinking, okay, I want to make a chill track that can play in the background while the player is playing the game. I also wanted it to be a bit mysterious because it's a strange hotel. When I finished the first track, it sounded a bit too repetitive and mysterious to me. So I decided to make it the main menu theme because the player doesn't stay on that for too long. And I still think it's one of my best songs, so not bad. The next day I made the track for during the gameplay. I also added the melody from the first track in the second track a few times, like a leitmotif for the setting of the game, The Strange Hotel. After I made the music, I made the main menu and the tutorial simultaneously. And also the level select. Nothing interesting, so let's continue. So at this point I had done basically everything. And there were only about 12 hours left, so I made the itch page and submitted it. A bit later I saw a message from someone saying that they found picking up objects a bit finicky. So I decided to try to fix that. 30 seconds later, it's fixed. All I needed to do was literally just remove one line, and it was speed equals 5. That was everything I needed to remove. Yay! Also, a few hours before the jam ended, Dynam streamed my game, and I saw that level 5 was a bit confusing, so I made it a lot clearer, removed some stuff. So yeah, I updated it with the fix to the grabbing system and the fix to level 5. They were very much needed. And yeah, it's done. I'm really happy with the end result, and I'm really happy. And I'm really happy that people are enjoying the game. And if you want to play the game yourself, the link will be down in the description. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to join the Discord, the link will also be in the description. And if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. That would make me really happy. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Hopefully. Bye!